topic of the day is collecting media. What kind of media? We're going to talk about it. And one thing I hate about collecting media in general is collecting promotional copies of albums. Now, promo copies of music have been around since pretty much the start of it. I have records from the 40s and possibly earlier that are either meant for record stores or radio stations to promote a single or an upcoming album. Now, there are a lot of problems I have while collecting these copies, and I wanted to discuss them and also give some tips to anyone else that wants to collect promotional copies, so you know what to look for and can avoid being burned on a buy. So one of the main questions I see when I look in different videos, Reddit, wherever, whatever discussion it is, or if it's like TikTok, YouTube, whatever the hell, is, are promotional copies rare? Like, some people, they see a promotional copy not for sale, and they think they hit the jackpot. Personally, I've done the same thing, and we'll talk about that later. Now, the question, yes or no, is it rare? It depends. There's no 50-50, like, certainty, or whatever you want to call it. There's no 100%. It's always 50-50. Now, some promotional copies from more known artists, like my David Bowie ones right here, aren't really as rare and are most likely sent to thousands upon thousands of stores, radio stations, executives, whoever worked on the album or whatever the single, can be easily found like on different websites like eBay, Discogs, record stores, etc. Now, for smaller artists, it gets even more 50-50 because it can be fairly rare depending on if it was either a big label release, like this copy of Waves on the Polydor label, or a self-release one, and regardless of the label or the force behind them, these promo releases for smaller artists are more likely very few and far between. And on top of that, especially when you get further and further back in the decades, how many of these copies still exist today? There are some types of promotional copies that unfortunately do damage the media at times. For vinyl, that's pretty much the main what we're going to go off of, but this involves every single media that we can talk about. So for vinyl, what they do sometimes is called a cutout. This can be seen by either punching a hole out of the top corner of a cover the whole way through, or cutting a notch in the cover, or cutting off a corner even sometimes. These are meant to pretty much deter stores from sending back a copy for like some sort of credit. That's what I could find when I looked it up. Or like putting it out as like a new copy, whatever you want to call it. So it's pretty much like insurance or some sort of safety precaution thing. I don't know really, but I think it's stupid. And even other times with 45s, they will drill a small hole in the label, which I have many like that. Normally they're the ones you see like hanging on the record store. There's like a string through them. They would drill a hole like in the side of the label. I'm like, oh, why did you do that? They also do some of this hole punching on CDs and cassettes, mainly on the barcode part, but sometimes they take it a step further and literally drill or carve into the actual casing, which I think is ridiculous because that not only damages the art of the album, but now all the case is ruined. Thankfully, you can replace cases. I've done that many times, but that still kind of sucks. It's like they drill through it. It's like, why shred it up? That's so stupid. You're stupid for that. Now, for buying promotional copies, this can be really tough, especially with some record stores not knowing how to price promotional records or intentionally ripping off beginning collectors. There are about 3 different types of stages for these promotional albums. I will be using vinyl mainly as like the face, the subject, just because it seems to be a lot more apparent there than CDs or cassettes, but this applies to all of them. The first 2 stages are actually pretty similar within style, with one being more noticeable than the other, that being promotional stamps and then promotional stickers. For the stamp, 9 times out of 10, it's most likely a gold type of ink, with a sentence like demonstration copy or DJ copy or promotional copy, not for sale. It's normally found in the top corners on either the front or back, mainly the back, but yeah, it can go either way. The other, they're promotional stickers. These can be of various amounts, surprisingly. The amount of crazy ones I have is wild. Sometimes it'll be like a little white circle or like a color circle aside from the album that says like promotional copy, DJ copy, whatever you want to call it, sample copy, whatever, yada yada yada. Or sometimes it can have the suggested cut sticker, which is normally a giant rectangle sticker that goes across the front or back of an album, It gives the information of, say, artist, album title, record label, release date, and then also have side 1 and 2, 3, 4, etc. And then it has the track listing with like fade in, fade out type of stuff, timestamps, all that stuff. It's pretty cool. I do like some of that. Basically, the promo sticker or promo stamp at the end of the day is just a way for record stores to hike the price of a generic pressing of an album, sometimes doubling or even tripling the album value. Now, I said I got burned. I got burned a lot with a lot of my early Ziggy Stardust stuff, like paying $50 for a promotional Bowie record, just based off a stamp alone before I knew that they were promotional copies of albums. So that's just a me thing. I just did not know much about it. But paying that much money and then when cataloging it, it being worth only $12 average, but I paid $50 because it had a special funny stamp on it. So the label itself is what holds the most value in my opinion, because not only is it an easy way to identify the album, that way you know it's a specific promotional pressing of the record. This is not just a generic first, second, third, state, whatever the fuck you want to call it, pressing with just some funky stuff done to it. Some of these can be very easy to identify by normally a white label with the same kind of text on a normal pressing, but sometimes there'll just be stuff like promotional use, demonstration only, not for sale, the stuff you would see on the stickers or stamps or whatever. But mainly, you would be able to notice it. Like, it's very easy to not get a promotional copy mixed up. Some labels don't change the label, but will add that same sentence, and it'll also have its own kind of like catalog number, etc. So that it would be very easy to find out what it is. And for me, it is the one true way to have a promotional record. Sometimes you will get lucky and find a promo label with a sticker or stamp as well. I think that's cool, that's fine, I like that. But the trifecta for me is the label, stamp, and sticker. If I'm correct, I have a few in my collection, and I just think it's cool. Now, for purchasing these, I would highly recommend doing research even in the store. And I know some people are very 50-50 on where to look for stuff. There's some weird website, Psych Pop or Pop Psych, something where it's like, oh, you can see like auction prices of vinyl and all that stuff. I don't know 100%. That's a bit odd, and also you have to pay for that. But then eBay, it's like that's even harder because it's Wild West there. I would highly recommend Discogs. For items that are stamped and stickered with the promo, but are on a generic label, I would check the bins to see if there's not another generic same label pressing, and see how far the difference is in prices. I've seen this many times before, where it's like a promo stamp or sticker one will be like $10 to $20 more than a generic pressing, and I just find it very difficult to deal with stores like that, and I think it's kind of stupid. Now, personally, I would not pay more than $5 extra for an album with those. Hopefully this video can help you out and give you some insight about what to look for when buying promotional copies, how to identify them, and how to know if you are getting burned on a buy or not. Thank you everyone for tuning in. If you want me to talk about something else music-based, let me know down in the comments. I will definitely research it, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.